Welcome to Talk Wave, making waves, one talk at a time.
All right, so let's dive right into something that probably felt pretty real to you.
Yeah.
I mean, the TikTok shut down over the weekend.
Yeah.
I bet you saw that, TikTok isn't available message yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It was a wild ride going for the Supreme Court, upholding that law that's, forcing ByteDance to sell TikTok or face removal from app stores to
Right.
to the app actually going dark.
Right.
And then, bam, totally unexpected twist.
Yeah.
President-elect Trump steps in.
Yeah, it really shows how intertwined tech and politics and honestly our lives have become.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think a social media app is causing this much tension.
I know, right? It felt like the whole world was holding its breath.
For sure. And things were moving fast, too.
Yeah.
The deadline for ByteDance to comply was January 19th.
So remind me again, what's the core issue here?
Mm-hmm.
Why was the U.S. government so concerned about TikTok in the first place?
The main worry is all about data. The U.S. government's concerned about TikTok potentially being used to collect data on American citizens, which could then be accessed by the Chinese government.
Okay.
And there's some weight to these concerns. I mean, Congress found that Chinese law can actually compel companies to hand over data.
Right.
Which obviously raises some major red flags here in the U.S.
For sure. And, of course, TikTok has been pushing back this whole time, saying these concerns are unfounded and the law is unconstitutional.
Yeah.
They didn't go down without a fight. They shut down voluntarily right before the deadline.
That's right.
I remember seeing that message pop up in the app,
Yeah.
talking about the shutdown and even mentioning that Trump might step in.
It was a smart move, really.
Yeah.
By shutting down first, they kind of put the pressure on both the outgoing Biden administration and the incoming Trump administration. But here's the catch.
Okay.
Even if Trump doesn't enforce the ban, that law is still there.
Right.
Companies like Apple and Google could get penalized later on for hosting TikTok.
So it's kind of like a high-stakes game of chicken.
Exactly.
I remember reading something about the Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogar.
Yeah.
She used that same analogy like during the Supreme Court arguments.
That's right. Everyone's watching to see who will back down first.
Yeah.
But then, out of nowhere, Trump throws a wrench in everything.
I know.
With those saved TikTok posts all over social media,
Oh.
promising an executive order to extend the deadline and to protect those service providers from penalties.
Wow.
And then it gets even wilder.
Yeah.
He says he wants 50% U.S. ownership, like a joint venture with TikTok, to save it and boost its value. Crazy, right?
I mean, that's classic Trump, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it really makes you wonder, what's his real motivation here?
Yeah.
Is it a power play? Genuine concern for the app and its users?
Right.
Or maybe he just sees a business opportunity?
It's probably a mix of things.
Yeah.
There's the political angle, the potential for economic benefits, and, maybe even a little bit of showmanship. Can't forget that. But we got to remember there are a lot of people who aren't happy about this whole giving TikTok a reprieve thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Some Republican senators have been pretty vocal about it. They're saying the national security risks are just too big to ignore.
Yeah, makes sense. So we've got TikTok fighting to survive, these tech giants stuck in the middle, and then politicians on both sides all weighing in. What a mess.
Absolutely.
But, amidst all this chaos, I keep thinking about the millions of TikTok users out there, like you listening right now.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of people, TikTok is way more than just an app.
For sure.
It's a creative outlet, a platform for building their business. It's where they get their news and information. It's a community.
You've hit a really important point.
Yeah.
TikTok has become this integral part of our digital culture.
Yeah.
If it disappeared, it'd leave a huge gap. And it's not just about dancing videos and funny trends, like you said. It's a lot more than that.
I was reading some comments online, and it's amazing how many people are saying they learned more about what's going on in the world
Right.
and social issues from TikTok than the regular news.
Wow.
They feel more informed because of all the different viewpoints they see.
Yeah.
The citizen journalism and the on-the-ground reporting you don't always see in, mainstream media.
It's really interesting to see, right, TikTok has become this alternative place for information,
Yeah.
especially for younger people who aren't exactly glued to the nightly news.
Right.
It's like information is being democratized. Anyone with a phone can be a reporter or a commentator.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this whole situation even more complicated.
Right.
We're not just talking about some company in the government.
Right.
We're talking about millions of people's livelihoods and creative outlets.
For sure.
I've seen people building entire businesses on TikTok, like artists finding their audience, teachers connecting with students in totally new ways.
Yeah.
It's this unexpected hub for like entrepreneurship and creativity.
You're absolutely right. And that's exactly what makes a potential shutdown so impactful.
Yeah.
It's not just about losing some entertainment, you know?
Yeah.
For a lot of people, TikTok is how they work, how they make money, how they connect with their passions. It's a huge part of their lives.
It's almost like that whole too big to fail idea, but for social media.
Exactly.
TikTok's gotten so woven into our digital world that if it disappeared, it'd leave a massive hole.
100%. And we can't forget about the potential impact on free speech and getting information.
Right.
If TikTok is shut down, what message does that send to other tech companies, other platforms, other creators?
Yeah.
What happens to those people who have found a place on TikTok? What about their voices?
It's almost like we're stepping into this new era of like digital geopolitics where controlling information and technology is the big battle.
It really is.
And it's not just governments fighting for that control either. You've got these tech giants right in the middle trying to navigate all these crazy rules
Yeah.
and facing pressure from every direction.
You're right. This whole TikTok situation, it's not just about one app. It's about setting a precedent, you know?
Right.
It's about deciding the rules of the game in this whole evolving digital world.
Exactly.
The choices made now, they'll have a ripple effect that goes way beyond TikTok.
And what's really striking is how individual users, like me and you, are right in the middle of these massive forces.
Yeah.
We're not just watching this happen.
Right.
The apps we choose to use, what we share, even the information we consume, it all adds to this big web of interconnectedness.
This is a perfect example of how what we do online, even if it seems small, can have huge effects globally.
Yeah.
Choosing to download TikTok, making content, interacting with other people on the platform, it all goes into this bigger system that's affected by political stuff, economic stuff, and cultural values.
It's a lot to think about. So as we try to make sense of this whole TikTok saga, what are some big takeaways we can use to navigate this increasingly digital world?
Well, one of the most important things is thinking critically.
Okay.
We got to be aware of potential biases and agendas, both from governments and from those tech companies.
Right.
Who benefits from the information we're getting? What are their real reasons for what they're doing?
It's easy to get caught up in all the drama and headlines.
Yeah.
But we got to remember, there's always more to the story. And we can't just blindly trust any one source for information.
That's right. We need to look at lots of different sources.
Okay.
Check things out, fact check what we see online, and be open to talking to people who see things differently than we do.
Yeah, it's like we need to learn this whole new set of digital skills to deal with this crazy online world.
Right.
Like how to figure out if source is good, how to spot fake news, how these algorithms work, and how to really think critically about everything we see online.
Absolutely. It's about being like informed digital citizens. We got to understand who has the power, you know?
Right.
And make smart choices about how we're part of this digital world that's always changing. We can't just sit back and take in whatever's thrown at us anymore.
No, we got to be active and involved and think for ourselves.
Exactly.
So next time you open up TikTok or any social media app, really,
Yeah.
maybe just take a sec to think about the bigger picture.
Good point.
What's really going on? What information are you getting?
Yeah.
And how does it all affect you and the world around you?
It's a wild world we live in, that's for sure. And it's complicated. Understanding all this is so important for navigating it all, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knows? Maybe someday we'll look back at this whole TikTok thing and see it as like a turning point. The moment we really started to understand the good and the bad of this digital age.
It's a story that's still going, and who knows how it'll end. But one thing's for sure, this is a conversation we need to keep having. So keep digging deeper, keep asking questions, and stay informed. Until next time.